Does Chris Paul really want out from the Houston Rockets, and does he have a problem with fellow co-star James Harden? I discuss what is going on, y'all. 5 Sports Talk back at it with another video talking, of course, some NBA. And if you're new to the channel, I talk a lot of NBA and with the NBA season, even in the off season, it never really feels like, it's completely over because there's storylines, drama. It's the biggest soap opera right now, and we've got plenty to talk about. So if you are new, go ahead and subscribe by clicking the button down below and turning on my post notifications, and also follow me on my social media. Very active on Twitter and IG, so would love for you guys to support and follow me there. With that being said, here to discuss, of course, this rumor or this story really that came out about Chris Paul and the fact that, he wants out of Houston. His relationship with James Harden is past the point of being fixed. How true is this? Let's talk about it right now. So where did this report come from? Basically came from an NBA reporter, Winston Goodwill of Yahoo Sports, who basically tweeted out the story, and he talked about the fact that Chris Paul wants out of Houston. That's what the story said. And that Chris Paul's relationship with James Harden is past the point of salvageable, basically unsalvageable. And so that's basically what the story was. Bleacher Report, funny enough, posted it, of course, on Instagram, and Chris Paul replied to the story, and he said, quote, "This is news to me," end quote. Of course, implying that this is not true. The story itself is not true. Now, am I going to believe it just because Chris Paul said that? No, because NBA stars have lied before, and I know better than that. With that being said, does this mean the story is absolutely true? This is what I'm here to discuss, of course, okay? So a little bit more context here for you guys. Daryl Morey, the GM of the Rockets, has come on radio shows, and he's basically said they're not trading Chris Paul. They're actually looking to add another star. I've seen their cap situation. I don't know how that's going to happen. It's probably going to have to be a trade. But with that being said, I digress. They're actually looking to add players. They want to add a rotation piece. They want to add a star, blah, blah, blah. And Chris Paul has not asked for a trade because that was also out there. So Daryl Morey comes on, and he basically, dismisses it. And Daryl Morey is a pretty, transparent guy. He says what he feels like. And, the past couple of years, he straight up told you guys, hey, listen, I'm obsessed with beating the Warriors. So GMs usually aren't very transparent. They give the political answer. But Daryl Morey, when he says it, I tend to believe him a little bit more than other GMs. So what is this story a product of? Why is it coming out? Because here's the thing. NBA reporters aren't going to just put out stories without good sources. There's people that are telling them this stuff, leaking information on purpose, even if you actually have the party that they're talking about in Chris Paul denying it. I believe this is frustration from Chris Paul in his situation with the Rockets because they've not been able to achieve their goal for the past 2 seasons, which is, of course, getting stopped by the Golden State Warriors. Now, here's my thing. The Houston Rockets have a golden opportunity right now because after they got, beat by the Warriors without KD in that one game, by the way, Game 6, I said, okay, I don't know how you bring back this team. I don't know how you do it. 2 years in a row, you can't stop them, and now Kevin Durant gets hurt and you still can't beat them. I don't know how you bring this team back. Break it up, even though Chris Paul's contract is disgusting. I don't know how you're going to trade that. He's owed like $40+ million per year until he's like 38. It's bad, okay? Those are not the exact numbers, but you get my point. So trading Chris Paul's contract is bad in itself, but then you want to talk about, how do you bring this team back? And then Kevin Durant gets hurt, and then Klay Thompson gets hurt, and now everything changes, okay? Now the window opens. The window's opening in, maybe just for a year, but it's open. And now if I'm the Rockets, I bring the core back because, again, the window is open. The Warriors are not going to be as good as they were before. Certainly not this coming season. Kevin Durant's going to probably miss the entire season. Klay Thompson's going to miss a large portion of it. So, to me, I would bring back this Houston team. And I believe Chris Paul, this stuff is leaking out because he was frustrated. And you know what? Here's the thing. His style and James Harden's style, I'm not surprised, man. It's difficult. And Chris Paul himself is not the easiest guy to play along with. He tends to get under people's skin. So, to me, could there be truth to him actually wanting out of Houston? Yes, I believe so. And I think that is a culmination of, getting beat by the Warriors again. His, maybe complaint about James Harden's playing style, which again doesn't mesh well with him either because they're both guys that need the ball in their hands. But I believe for right now, at least for the next year, the roster is going to come back and they're going to run this back one more time, and Chris Paul is going to be on the Rockets. I don't expect them to trade Chris Paul. Like I said, trading Chris Paul's contract is going to be an issue larger than they think. Okay, it's harder than, and Daryl Morey is the one GM I wouldn't put anything past, but it's going to be very difficult to trade Chris Paul's contract. But I don't expect them to trade Chris Paul. I expect him to stay with the Rockets. I do believe that he wants out of Houston, but I do think they will convince him to basically stay for at least a year, run it back with the Warriors not being the Warriors, and then after that you'll see, again, doesn't surprise me because of the fact that, the playing styles are so different, and both guys need the ball in their hands, okay? So to me, I think they run it back one more year. After that, who knows? Mike D'Antoni isn't even under contract past this coming season, so wouldn't surprise me. So there you have it, folks. I do believe Chris Paul wants out of Houston, but I do think they will keep him at least for one more season. That is my gut. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below if you agree or disagree. As always, thanks for watching.